This is very important work, isn't it?
Very important. It's very important because the families that are out there that are home with no food, nothing to eat. I went to a couple of homes where their refrigerators are chained so the children won't touch the food. Milk is marked where they know if it's being used or not. It's a sad situation.
June De Lorenzo does not get paid to help feed hungry families. She and fellow employees at Sodexo, the food and facilities management giant, donate food and volunteer their time to each week provide more than 140 West End families with take-home backpacks filled with food. It means nutritious meals to disadvantaged households, many of which are multi-generational.
We had a child that was at one of the high schools, and she would stay every day after lunch, and one of the girls there asked, why she was hanging around, and she said that she was hungry and she needed some food to take home. So that's how the program started. We have a lot of elderly people that are guardians of school-age children. So we pack up a lot of the food for them, and then they take the backpacks back on a Monday, and then we just repeat the whole process over every weekend.
Is it true that in some families where there are elderly, that the elderly tend to make sacrifices, that they wait until they're sure that the children are fed, and there's maybe even a treat left over before they will begin eating sometimes even?
Yes, they will go it out. A lot of the seniors will go it out to make sure they have 3 square meals a day, and if there is anything left over, then they will eat. Other than that, they will make sure the children get to eat everything first.
So a way of remedying that is making sure that there's a lot of food in this backpack.
Exactly, and we try and pack anywhere between 15 to 25 pounds depending on what is going in the backpacks every week, because it varies every week.
In our travels in the West End, we found one constant theme. The work to reduce senior hunger would not be possible without volunteers.
My daughter was making her confirmation, and she had to come down here to do community service. And she told me how much she loved it, and she said, "You'll love it, Mom." So I called Father Kelly. It was Columbus Day, and I said, "Are you open because it's a holiday?" He said, "Yes, we are." So I came down, and I stayed ever since. When I first came here, I didn't think that, I would be missed if I didn't come a week, and you are. They look for you.
How did you choose to do this?
I didn't choose it. It came to me. It's so funny because I was dropping my nephew off at the Coca-Cola company, and I took the side street, and then I went down to, I couldn't go down no more, so which I said, take the left or right. Something said take a left. I took a left. On the corner of my eye, I seen the Meals on Wheels. I said, wow, let me ask them if they need a driver. So I went inside, and that was history. That's how I started. I volunteered for 2.5 years.
How you doing? We're here in the production room where the volunteers are inspecting all of the donated product. Right now they are working on the food that came in through the Scouting for Food drive. They're basically checking for the dates on the package. They're checking all of the cans to make sure that they're structurally sound. And then they are disinfecting it with a bleach and water solution.
So are you a regular volunteer?
Yes, I've been doing it for a little over 3 years, I guess. I don't know if that's a regular or what.
It is.
I used to do it twice a week, but then they cut me back to once every other week, and now I'm every week.
We have about close to 80 volunteers that come on a weekly basis, and then we also have several groups that come throughout the year, about 90 groups that will come maybe once or twice a year to help out with groups anywhere from 5 to 30 people. AARP actually came a few weeks ago and helped us out for a day, so we really do appreciate all of the work that they do.
My grandmother, she lived to be 98 years old in her own home, independent, and we had always said, Meals on Wheels was a great service for her, and we believed contributed to the fact that she could remain at home. And so So I was, I became really interested in the program and began volunteering, and I would call her and tell her about the people that I had seen that day, and there were certain clients that reminded me of her, and so that's what got me interested in driving.
I'm usually on a high every single day because it's a very rewarding feeling. You only have to do it to understand it. When you see people leave with a smile on their face and food to feed themselves and their family and their children, it's an inner reward that you only can receive that when you're open to receive it, and I'm very open.
When you go to the door as a volunteer and bring this food to them, they're like so happy to see you. As far as socializing with them for that little bit of time that you're there, maybe a minute or half a minute, and just putting a smile on their face for giving them the meal, it's a big thing.
It's good work.
It's good work, very good work. Everybody should volunteer to do it at least once in their life.
Language is sometimes a barrier. It hinders us from really getting what we need to do, but we're trying to overcome that with the volunteers that we have. So we have volunteer translators and people who speak various languages and that kind of thing. So they're not just Hispanics, but we have persons in the West End representing almost every cultural group. Even our church itself has a large number of ethnic groups within it. So that's why we call upon each of them to volunteer their gifts and abilities to try to address a particular need.
One of the key ways that we've seen improve use of food pantries, soup kitchens by minority populations is the involvement of volunteers from those communities in the programs. So a great example is Project Outreach that is in Providence. Each time they have a distribution, they will have 60 volunteers from the community, both English-speaking, Spanish-speaking, other languages, other cultures that are represented in the community are there working the program. And so if you come for the first time and you don't speak English, it's very likely that you're going to meet somebody who can help you and make you feel welcome.
I had a client who had her primary caregiver had just died, and she, it was the saddest I'd ever seen this woman, and she's normally very vivacious and excited to see me and has a lot to say, and it was just so nice to be able to be there that day and sort of talk with her about it and just let her know I was thinking about her.
The Good Samaritan didn't ask why the man came up that road, that dangerous, treacherous road, right, by himself. Didn't ask that. All he did was saw that there was a need, met the need, and became his brother's keeper, his neighbor. He was neighbor to his brother. So that's what we need to be, neighbors to our brothers.
Hello, Jeannie.
Hello.
How you doing?
How do you like my glasses?
Oh, beautiful. I love them. You can see me now? You can see me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good.
You take it easy.
Okay, you too. I wasn't important. Whatever I was saying was not important to anybody. But I feel like now when I got a voice, I think what I say, I try to live right. You know what I'm saying? My mother taught me well. And I got a lot of feelings.
And so personalizing this handoff every day is really important.
It's very important to me. I do like I want to be done to me. You know what I'm saying? My mother said, do unto others you want them to do unto you. And I try to live that way, you know. So, it's like, 'cause when you're growing up, you feel like you're nobody, you don't mean much. If someone makes you feel like you're doing something good, it's like food for your soul. You need it, you know.
Hungry in the West End is made possible by a grant from AARP Foundation. You can learn more about senior hunger, read Jody McPhillips' stories, and watch extended videos online at aarp.org/RI.